Hi, folks. We are live. I'm going to wait a minute or two before I start chatting it up just so we can get folks on the live stream. I hope everybody who's watching this on the replay is doing well on this Sunday. And we're just going to do like an open mic sort of afternoon. We'll open it up as soon as people come on to basically talk woods talk, where we'll keep the conversation open to just about anything. I'm going to be looking at my desktop just to see who's checking in, but we'll get this right here. We got 8 people in right now. I hope everyone's doing well. Dana's here from Mountain Sports Air Guns. Here, let me. So basically, just checking in today. It's been a crazy week. Thought we would like sit down, have a little campfire talk, decompress a little bit, keep it fun, keep it woods oriented. From Puerto Rico, hope you're doing well out there, Carlos. The farthest southeast I made it was Key West, and I loved it down there. Thanks, Dana. Dana's referring to my hats, and this is part of Dana's channel, Mountain Sports Air Gun. He does the Air Gun Survival Challenge, so make sure to check him out. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on with that. If you're into air guns, if you're into outdoor stuff, camping, a lot of his videos are adventure videos as well, and he has a beautiful sidekick, a dog named Marley. So check him out. News on the Wingman115 home front. We finally got a little bit of rain here in SoCal. Any mods to the Forerunner yet? I'll get to that in just a second. Finally got a little bit of rain here in SoCal. There's been a little bit of snow up in our local mountains, and the Forest Service issued another, basically, I don't know, I'll call it like a decree notice, where basically the woods is shut down until January 1st. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if we get a couple more heavy rainstorms. Maybe they'll lift it. I'm cautiously optimistic. But a lot of the places that I go and film, my little bushcraft hideaways have been locked off. So I'm reconning. I'm looking for stuff. We will not be locked out of the woods. We'll get in there because I got some gear to review for you guys. Some like old school gear reviews on some tents, on some gear. And I'm looking forward just getting a little bit of woods time. Also, I'm wondering how that's going to play because I have an archery deer tag. So as you guys can see back here, got some of my bows back there. I got gear everywhere, so I apologize. I got bows behind that door. It's nuts. I'm not only a fan of air guns, but also traditional archery. Anybody who's followed along my channel. Now, let's see. Peter's asked a question about any mods to the Forerunner yet. I haven't. I've taken one road trip with it. We went to Palm Springs. Then we were close enough to go to Joshua Tree, and I took some photos. I don't know if I posted it on my Facebook page, but I did post them on Instagram. And Joshua Tree is just beautiful. If you guys ever make it out to SoCal, I highly suggest that you check out that national park. You go through a couple different desert eco zones, and each one of them is diverse. Each one has just its own special place, and just plan on spending a couple days out there. A lot of people go out there rock climb, and it's nice. I'm going to word of caution, pick time of year. Make sure that you bring your, what the Boy Scouts called your survival items, water, maybe a hat, a jacket. Deserts can get cold at night. Even though they're 100 plus during the day, they can get freezing at night. So just be careful. So yeah, we did with the Forerunner. The gentleman asked Peter because I traded the Grumpy Grunt. Hey, how's it going, buddy? I traded in. I had a Honda HRZ or HRV, something like that. I can't remember the acronyms on all these cars, but it was a commuter to get to work. And I sold my 2001 Jeep Wrangler, my mobile studio, kind of like condensing down a little bit, and bought a 2020 Forerunner TRD off road. And I'm going to take my time picking what items that I'm going to put on there. Probably a roof rack for carrying gear, and maybe something to carry a gas can. I don't know if I'll do a lift because I'm using it as my daily driver, and I don't really do a lot of sketchy trails where I'm going to be rock crawling and things like that. And I just need to maintain my gas mileage because Forerunners inherently, they're like Jeeps. The gas mileage is not that good. So, like Dana says, yeah, looking at awnings. Awnings would definitely be a useful item depending on what sort of roof rack. Let's see, which air rifle do I recommend? I'm interested in buying one. Well, first, Carlos, you need to tell me what your budget is and what you're going to use it for, and then we can go from there. There's a lot of really cool entry level stuff that has been released in the past year or two that's making it really affordable to get into the airgun game, and that's where Dana over at Mountain Sports Airguns has a great resource because he covers everything from the super high end, awesome guns to the entry level stuff. So, Brosov, hey, how you doing, buddy? So, we're we're I lost my train of thought. Senior moment here, but yeah, he has a great channel in regards to that. Brosov says, miss you guys. Hey, I miss you too, brother. We're looking at doing another winter meetup. Folks, follow along on the channel. We had a meetup earlier in the year, and we went out to McCain Valley, and Brosov Russell came out, his YouTube channel. Dana came out. If you guys follow Alan from the Faro channel, he's a hiker here in SoCal. He came out. James McIntyre came out, friend of Joseph Russell's, and my nephew and a gentleman from Arizona. And Dana and Joseph can tell you, I think it rained probably an inch and a half, 2 inches of rain within a day. It was coming down, and it got a little bit cold. But Steve from 73 Forge, hey, thanks for joining, man. So just to recap, we're just doing like a little campfire meetup talk tonight with everything crazy going on. We're going to decompress a little bit, and we're going to have fun. We're going to chat it up. We're going to talk. Basically, anything's on the table. You want to talk guns, you want to talk air guns, you want to talk knives, you want to talk archery stuff, you want to talk camping. I'm not a big fisherman like I used to be up northern Maine just because we don't have the fresh water down here in SoCal. And I'm sorry, I don't like the saltwater fish. I don't have anything against it. It's just not my cup of tea to do. But we're looking to do another meetup. And let's see, looking forward to some archery videos. So if you can get a punch that deer tag. I'm looking to punch that deer tag too. Now, unfortunately, haven't been able to shoot my bow that much, but I'm looking to use, here, we're going to go on a little nature walk. Da, 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 da. Got too much stuff here. Got my metal detector. I'm looking to use my shrew Classic Hunter. That's a Ron LeClaire design. Ron LeClaire is one of the godfathers of basically the hybrid longbow genre. And now Henry Bodnick, who owns Bodnick Bows, has done an agreement with Ron LeClaire, and now he's making the shrew bows. And let me just tell you, from an archery standpoint, Henry Bodnick is like the modern day Fred Bear of archery. Their attention to detail, the quality. He has a 30-year guarantee, and it's transferable on the bow. So yeah, you're gonna pay a little bit more money, and I ain't gonna lie, I paid around $750 for that bow. But if you want a Maserati, you got to pay for Maserati. So if you're just starting out, there's stuff that won't break the bank. I show that on the channel. I'm going to be doing a full review on that bow soon. It's just been crazy with COVID and my job. It's just been crazy. And the time that I do have, I've just been trying to decompress, get out a little bit. Just like this weekend, it was like I basically just locked myself in the house and didn't want to see anybody, didn't want to talk. Not that I don't love people, but on my day job, it's just been crazy. So, and I'm an operations manager for a large grocery store here in SoCal. People ask. I've been and when we say large, we're talking your average market in your average town will probably do 500,000 a week. I've worked in stores that done up to a million a week. That's a lot of eggs, bread, milk going out the door. So my job is I do all the logistics in the store. I'm the number 2 person. So I do all the buying. I'm in charge of a lot of the departments other than I'm in charge of every department other than produce, service deli, bake, and meat. Everything else falls under my umbrella. So on average, that's about 40 to 45 people daily that I work with on my team. But yeah, it gets crazy. SoCal's a different beast. A lot of our stores are average. You know, you're going to average anywhere between 2,000, 4,000 customers a day. That's a lot of traffic coming through your doors. And the way that things are right now with COVID, it's just been nuts. So it's been hard to get out in the woods, especially with the fires and all. But we're committed to make great content for you folks out there. And I thank you so much for supporting the channel, for supporting me over the years. You have no idea. It inspires me to constantly try to improve the Wingman115 brand and the content and the quality of the videos that we put out. And I think you're going to see a lot of good stuff. 2021, I'm telling you, we're going to have a good year. 2021, we need to make it a great year. So we're going to do that. Let's see some of the comments here. Looking forward to some archery video. Okay, thanks for the recommendation. I'll look into Mountain Sports Airgun website. Yeah, Carlos, check him out. And you can always shoot me an email. And if on my YouTube page, the homepage has a link. I'll let you send me an email, and I'll guarantee I'll follow through and I'll answer it. So send me a message. Broseph says he's thinking about getting one of them air guns. You got to, brother. Next time we have a meetup, we'll bring a bunch of them, and we'll all go out and we'll do some shooting. It'll be fun. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of, like Dana says, there's a lot of neat, affordable air guns right now. And one of them, like I talked about in the last live show that I did, was the Umarex Gauntlet for $330 some odd dollars. You can get in the game. Now, that doesn't include having some sort of pump to pump up the gun. That may cost you another $150. but for under 500 bucks, you're in the game. And they have them in 177, 22, and 25 cal. And the great thing about that is that gun is very moddable. You can mod it. So if you guys follow along on the channel, my air gun guru, one of my family members, Nick, you guys seen him on the channel. Let's see, the Umarex Origin comes with a pump for 350 bucks. There you go. And Dana just did a video on his channel on that air gun. So you get a complete kit, 350 bucks, Katie bar the door. Now you're in the game. And the good thing about that is like archery, like the Southwest archery bows. You can get in the game with a Southwest archery bow for 160 bucks. You buy 6 arrows, you're looking at 80 or 90 bucks, so that puts you at 250. You buy a glove, there's another 20 bucks, there's 270. You buy an arm guard, say another 20 bucks, right? There's 290. So for around 300 bucks, maybe get a quiver. Okay, so for $330, $340, now you're in the archery game with that. Let's see, Steve says, air guns are my new hobby. Former MX Trails rider. I still have a 22 just in case Marauder pistol it is. Yeah. Hey, Steve, what kind of bikes were you riding with the doing the MX and the Trials Rider? I used to do a lot of 24-hour mountain bike races back in the day. I still have a Klein Palomino in the garage, all ready to go. Maybe I'm not ready to go, but the bike's ready to go. But yeah, I love bike riding. It's just time management. There's just so many hobbies and so little time now. But post up where you're all from, and do you have any plans to go camping? Do you have any outdoor plans in the coming weeks? I know it started getting a little cold in the Midwest, and then on the East Coast, it seemed like it got warm. So folks that are deer hunting, I don't know how that's going to affect your whitetail game or not in those areas. Let's see. He says gas. Oh, okay. There you go. He's into motocross. Sorry. But yeah, I understand that too. Motocross is kind of like the jet ski sports. I just bought another Sea-Doo this year, and man, you can tie up some bucks in that real quick. Dana says he just got back from the snow, and it was a nice change. Yeah, he sent me a photo, and it's beautiful. I mean, snow, like out here at Mount Laguna, or even in the Sierras. My friend Robo, who lives up in Mammoth, posted a picture on his Facebook today. Let's see, he's from Portugal, living in England 5 years now, living in a truck camper for 6 months now. Well, man, I hope that's working out for you. That can get pretty cold and wet in England in a truck camper, because it gets pretty cold in that moisture. I'm from northern New Hampshire, Peter. All right. Well, I grew up in northern Maine. That's just down the road a few hours. And they've been getting a lot of moose this year. I've been following along a lot of family members, and they've been posting just a ton of moose this year. The whitetail population has kind of gone down quite a bit because of all the cutting, the heavy logging up there. They cut a lot of the hardwood. We used to call them tree yards, where the deer in the wintertime would have basically something to eat. Now, with a lot of that gone, it's really impacted the population. And the coyotes as well have really impacted the population of whitetail deer. So now you have a huge explosion of black bear, and just a huge population explosion of moose, because moose love that kind of scrub, wet. It's boggy up there. There's a lot of streams. Brooks, we call them. We don't call them creeks up there. They're brooks. But The moose just love that stuff. Let's see. Carlos says, indeed, snow is beautiful, but I prefer the white sand on the beach in a sunny day. Hey, I can't knock you there. It's beautiful. Let's see. Caveman says, really good Kimbo truck camper with wood stove and everything. As a wildlife photographer, I need to go to the backcountry as much as possible. Well, that's cool. What kind of camera do you shoot with, Caveman? What sort? Do you shoot with the DSLR or do you shoot with a mirrorless one? Seems like mirrorless seems the way to go. There's been some really good images with the mirrorless cameras now. I know that Linux has done a really good job. Sony's done a really good job. Canon needs to get on board with their DSLR format. I think a lot of it is getting a little outdated, and I think they're resting on the name. I recently bought another video camera, 4K video camera, was a Canon, and because it had a 1-inch sensor. It's a Panasonic S5 full frame. Yeah, I mean, that's money right there. And then hook yourself up with some cool lenses. I know my friend Andy Tran, Interbark Outdoors, I think he uses a Panasonic, and he turned me on to a 600 millimeter mirrored lens. And of course, it's not going to be autofocus, and you're not going to get all. It's like a fixed f-stop and such, but it's really fun to use. And I mean, I get some really cool bokeh with that. The only thing is, I have to focus it through the viewfinder, the LCD viewfinder. So I got to be careful because that focus window is really tight with that. It's like a 2.4 or 2.8 f-stop, so it's really tight. But I've gotten some really cool wildlife photos with that lens, and you can buy them on eBay. I mean, they're cheap, $100 maybe. Yeah, you can do a lot with an iPhone. I mean, the video quality on an iPhone now with 4K, especially the iPhone 11, and I'm using the 11 Pro, and now they have the 12. And I heard from what I'm seeing, watching Peter McKinnon and all those folks, is that just the quality is just crazy. Now, I don't think, obviously, they have a 1-inch sensor, because that's going to be a lot of hardware to be putting in a mobile device. But I mean, we're getting there. It's just insane, some of the photos and video that you can take now with a smartphone, even the Galaxies, the high-end Galaxies. So yeah, there's times we're out in the woods, and it's easier for me to shoot like a vlog style video with my phone than it is to carry around either my G40 or the XF400. It's just sometimes too hard. Let's see. Sebastian's checking in. Hey, buddy. Would be interesting to see you winter camping. It doesn't have to be extreme. I remember that your mother lives close to the Canadian border. She does. She just sold the homestead in Portage Lake, Maine. At 84, it was just getting too much with the maintenance. And folks, if you live in either extreme heat or extreme cold with weather like that, it's really hard on your house, the fixtures in the house, the roof, even like plowing the driveway of snow. And imagine doing that as an 84-year-old woman living by herself. And I mean, there's times, I mean, the town that I grew up in the winter probably only has 500 people, and in the summer maybe 2,500 to 3,000. And you might not see anybody for 2-3 weeks. So yeah, she finally sold the property this year. She moved to the next town away in Ashland, where I used to go to high school, and she's about a quarter mile from my sister. So it works out pretty good for my mom. She's happy. She's happy that she doesn't have to worry about plowing the driveway and doing all that. That's all taken care of for her. But yeah, we're gonna do a winter camp. We were talking earlier that we're gonna do a group camp, and then I have a one tigress tiger den. It's a baker style tent, the old school like frontier canvas style tent, but this one's made out of nylon. So I'm gonna have to do a video review on that if I can never get out in the woods, and I'm gonna do a camp out with that in up in Laguna wintertime. I've camped out there before. It's nice. It's fun. The only problem right now is the way that the Forest Service has closed down everything. There's like 1.2 or 3 million people in San Diego County, and guess where they're all going? To that one area up in the National Forest, because everything else is locked down. All the side roads. There's no primitive camping. You can't have any fire at all other than a propane stove, which understandable. You know, the last thing you want to do is burn down a mountain community. I mean, we've had enough of that over the years. Overland winter camp, that Tiger's Den tent would work well against the Forerunner. I agree. The way that Tiger's Den is, it's like a box tent where the roof comes down probably about a 30-degree pitch, and then it has an awning that comes out, I think, 4 or 6 feet. And then they also include a couple tarps to go around 2 sides and leaves one side open. Now, there's a gentleman that has a channel, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name, but he's thinking about taking some like fire retardant tarp material and making another enclosure on an open side so we can use my Work Tough stove, which, I mean, that thing is like a rocket. And it was a lifesaver when we went winter camping earlier in the year. It puts out a lot of heat. And I mean, it's like uber hot, and then it gets it gets cold quick because these tents aren't going to hold in the heat. So if I was using that on like a teepee style tent, maybe that had the thicker canvas that would hold the heat better, it would probably stay warmer longer. But with any sort of nylon, if you don't keep a fire in there, you're going to be freezing as soon as that fire dies down. And in any hot tent, that's going to happen too. So yeah, even Dana says, yeah, it was a little too hot. When we stoked that stove, we put birch in there, and I mean, that stovepipe was just glowing, just cherry red. It was just nuts. So what do you guys want to talk about? You guys want to talk about knives? You want to talk about deer hunting? You want to talk about any plans for 2021? Immediate plans was this: SHOT Show's canceled. So everybody from all over the world goes to SHOT. So this place is just nuts. They use like over 1 million square feet of convention space at the Sands Expo. And they figured for safety this year that they were going to cancel SHOT. And I think they announced it like a week ago. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to a few folks that I normally do booth reviews with when I go to SHOT. So I can't say who it is. Joe Flowers, Condor Tool and Knives. We're trying to get together where I'll most likely be doing a live show with Joe Flowers. And then I'm going to see if I can get a few other vendors on board, and we'll probably do one live show a night with a vendor that I usually do a booth review with. And that way we get a little bit of SHOT Show coverage. So we might do a couple nights of knives at SHOT Show, and then I'll probably get together with a couple fellow air gunners, and we'll just do a like an air gun quasi shot show where we sit down and we talk about all the new stuff that's coming out and some of the rumors that we're hearing. You know, just a little bit of the Gladys Krabbis gossip coffee hour. There we go. There's Jaime, my brother from another mother. Yeah, virtual is the way to go. I have to figure out because I used to do live shows with Andy Tran, and we used to be able to do them where we could do split screen, multiple people on YouTube. YouTube keeps changing that, obviously, with the technology. So what might happen is we might have to do a Zoom call or a Skype call, and then I'll record it and then I'll put it on for people to watch. But I got about a month to figure it out if we can do live, and that way we can answer questions. Let's see. He'll be moving to Canada for 2021. Any good advice, Lakes, for photography? Well, depending on what part of Canada that you're going to. I mean, we used to go up into Brunswick in Quebec, but where it's at is out on the West Coast, the Rockies, BC, beautiful. Last year, I went up to Whistler, and that was a fun trip in the summertime and just breathtaking. So if you ever get a chance to do Vancouver, heading up to Whistler, and Microsoft Teams, thank you very much. You know what? I'm going to write that down. See, I learned so much from you guys. It's a team effort. I'm writing down little notes. Is there any videos that you guys want to see me cover in the near future? Keep it clean. We got to keep it G-rated because, you know, kids watch program. But any sort of stuff like that. Let's see. You should try a few days down in the deep south for some camp vids. Get the lay of the land. Well, it's funny you said that because a good friend of mine, Rick Ward, the urban air gunner, and I are trying to team up. The only problem has just been with the way that the COVID has hit and being able to travel, because with my job I've been having to stay close to home. But if things start opening up, he has access, I want to say, to like 1,500 acres of land. So we're looking maybe to do a two-part trip, because he's big into treasure hunting. And Steve, take care, brother. He's big into treasure hunting. He's got some Garrett metal detectors. So we will probably do some metal detecting and some air gun hunting. And I mean, hey, pig hunting down there, that would be awesome. And he has access. You can use like the Texans down there, the 45 cal, the 50 cal air guns on these hogs. That right there would be, no pun intended, hog heaven to be able to go down there. We're also, maybe, I don't know if I should let the cat out of the bag, Jaime and Dana, about maybe well, I'm just going to say it, screw it. We're probably going to do a Bigfoot investigative trip. How would you guys think about that? Leave it in the comments below. We have a team assembled that I think would rival and probably kick ass on any of these fake ass TV shows. And we're going to do it in an other than, let me scale this back. Les Stroud does a good job, does an awesome job. He's probably the only one that I respect. But the other ones, we have a team where we're looking to go out there on a camping investigation, thanks Dana, and be objective about this with an open mind. We're not just going to go out there, drink Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah. We're going to legitimately go out there and look for sign. We have I think we have a team assembled that has all the gear for this: sound equipment, video equipment. We got folks that have worked in special operations. We got trackers. It's going to be a dream team. And we're looking to put together an expedition like that. You're right, ultimate hide and seek champ. But it's been a lot of sign over the years. So just something to put out there. If you guys are interested in that sort of stuff, we're definitely working on putting together a dream team. We've got and the Wonder Dog. Yes, we have Marley the Wonder Dog. Let's see a little about shooting methods behind the scene. Let's see behind the scenes. Are you using an aerial drone? If I'm correct. Yes, I do. I have a Mavic, and the last time I used it, I was camping with Dana, and the gimbal started going a little nuts. Yeah, we do need to go with full respect. Yes, I agree. But yeah, I have a Mavic Pro. I've shot some really cool video on that. A lot of the B-roll that you see on my channel of like flying over the ground and stuff like that is from a Mavic Pro. It was a spaceship, John. Yeah, no joke. It was not. Here's the deal. Everything. I did this camping trip. Nick and I. Hey, how you doing, Nick? Me, Nick, and Dana did a camping trip, and almost everything I owned had some form of malfunction over the course of the trip, which is crazy. I had my Benjamin air gun started malfunctioning. I had my drone that the camera and the gimbal started like slapping back and forth and going nuts. Then when I brought it home, works fine. Took it on a test flight, run it through using the same batteries, everything works fine. Just it was just crazy, some of the gear that just didn't work. So I don't know. It's just one of those oddities. It's one of those oddities. But we're going to be out there. Yeah, we're going to be looking and following up some leads. Also, I'm thinking about, and I got a book here that I've been reading because I've been watching California Gold, and Huell Hauser kind of right before he passed, he was like an executive producer on the show. But this is a book on Marshall South in the Ghost Mountain Chronicles. And check him out. This guy was just interesting. These guys were, him and his wife were probably some of the first hippies in the 1920s and 30s that when everything broke loose with society, with the Great Depression and all that, they didn't have a dollar to their name. They packed up, I think they had a Model A car, and it was in disrepair. And they lived in Oceanside, California. She was a poet. He was a poet and a novelist, and he lived quite the extraordinary life. And they used to go down to Anza Borrego Desert back in the day. And back then, it was at least a multi-day trip. It wasn't like, oh, we're just going to drive there, a couple-hour drive, and then we'll turn around and come back. The roads back then weren't that good. A lot of them were dirt roads. You had to go up through Julian, California, which was an old mining town. Then down Banner Grade, which is like a 12-mile just S-turn, just crazy, because I know I used to mountain bike up that hill for training. And they carved out a homestead, and they lived out there 17 years. And he used to write for Desert Magazine. Let's see. Grab a pie on your way through. Most definitely. If you haven't had Julian apple pie, you are missing out. So you can check him out on YouTube. There's a lot there. There's a lot of cool like short videos, and then I went and purchased the full documentary. It was like, I don't know, like $9 or something, and it was worth it. It was like an hour and and it was basically the chronicles by Marshall's oldest son. And yeah, so this book covers a lot of the stuff of living that desert nomadic life. And then it has all his articles that he wrote for Desert Magazine over the years. So I just love history. I love stuff like that. And we're looking probably to take a drive out there and to go try to find his old homestead, maybe shoot a film out there of the trip, just take you along, maybe show a little bit of history, some photos, and such. So we're looking to do stuff like that. Looking to do the maybe an expedition for a bipedal sort of animal, person, entity, and do some SHOT Show coverage. So we're going to, plus some reviews. I'm backing up on reviews because it's Thanksgiving. Show off the bloopers in your videos if you have to. Some are still, some are still fun. Let me tell you something. And Jaime can chime in on this because he's been with me, and Nick too, when I'm filming. And there's times where I think I'm doing fine on an intro, and then all of a sudden it just goes to hell quick. And then sometimes voluntary Tourette syndrome kicks in. I don't know if I can post that on on the interwebs because they can tell sometimes I get freaking pissed. But you know, it's like anything. Here's my scripts, guys. This is my scripts. So I just jot little notes. I'm not gonna sit there like a robot. Oh, tonight's the news. That's not me. I'm gonna look, get the bullet points, and then I'm gonna talk to you like we're sitting around having a beer around the campfire, and try to keep it real. And that's what we're gonna do. Maybe I'll try to put in some bloopers if we knock stuff over, if an arrow winds up getting stuck in somebody's car or something crazy like that. Even Jaime says, he goes, yeah, we'll do 5 takes just on the buffoonery, because something will happen. He may be in the shot, he may be in my peripheral, and sometimes something will happen where we'll make eye contact or somebody comes walking along. It's just amazing. Here's what's crazy. We'll go out in the woods. We'll not see anybody all day until we turn the camera on. Then all of a sudden, somebody's walking into frame, or somebody's beeping a horn, or a woods Forest Service fire engine's coming with a freaking siren blasting and responding to nothing. They're like, oh, fire down here. It's like, no. It happens all the time. It's just, maybe I should put that in the videos. Dana says it takes him 20 takes to say good night. Sometimes it just does. There's days where there's good days, and there's days where just nothing works. I mean, I've gone up, tried to film, and for some reason just can't get it together. And we've just called it. Go, okay, we're just gonna grab the bow, we're just gonna grab the air gun, and we're just gonna woods walk and just have fun. Go stump shoot or go hunt some grounds, do something. But the best videos of when we're just sitting around being us and just chatting it up and keeping it real. We want to keep it real. The people that you see in my videos are the people that they are off camera. They're just good. They're hardworking folks, just like you and I. And we just try to keep it real on the channel. and I've always been that way. I value your time. I value your money, and you're putting a lot of trust when you watch one of our reviews. And for that, I thank you for that. I mean, that's, you guys have stuck with me over the years, ride or die, and I appreciate that. And that's why we keep putting out the vids. We keep having a great time. I mean, like tonight, we're just chatting it up, with you guys and just having a great time. So yeah, we're looking to do our woods meetup again. Not a Christmas meetup, but hopefully in January, if I don't have an inventory, we can get out one of those weekends, or February, and meet up. I think we're going to go north this time. Last time we did it in McCain Valley, which was really cool. It was really remote, and a lot of respect to the guys that drove from LA and farther. And because for those guys, it was like a 5 hour trip. And for Alan from the Faro channel, it was even longer because he took the 10 all the way out, I think, to 29 Palms and went south. He was on an Easter egg hunt. It was just nuts. But we had a great time. We're looking to do it north this time. So maybe Broseph can start scouting an area. Dana, maybe you guys can talk. We can head shed and find someplace up there so we can get a couple more. Let's see. Jaime checked in. He goes, he's super humble and thankful to be able to collaborate on this channel. And big thanks to all that watch. Him and Nick, man, I appreciate you guys being on the channel, helping me bring content. Because, I've said this 1,000 times. I don't claim to know it all. I certainly don't. I'm not a bushcrafter. I love the woods. I'm a sportsman. But you guys out there, you guys help me, and we have fun. And I've always said that it's us. It's the viewer. It's us making the videos. We're a community. We're all together. Dana says that he has a few spots that we can hang. That's cool. We gotta make this happen. Just get out, have a good time, have fun, and hopefully it won't rain. It's gonna be cool. I don't mind that. I don't mind the cold. I've winter camped before. There was a gentleman that asked about a winter camp, Sebastian, I think. In Maine, in the Scouts, we used to winter camp. And we used to go to Loring Air Force Base, and that was a huge Air Force base up near Caribou, Maine. You always see caribou on the weather reports where they give you the how cold it is and how much rain. Well, Loring Air Force Base was a big B-52 bomber base, and that was like one of those strategic areas that, in the event the flag goes down and we got to go to war, B-52s will fly over the Arctic and, do their job going wherever they got to go. Well, every winter, Loring Air Force Base would, how the Scouts do like a camporee. Well, they did what they called a winterama, and it was basically a winter camping camporee. So one year we did snow caves, and that was interesting. We dug out snow caves, and we did the fir boughs in there, and then we put a tarp over the door, and then we stuck some candle holders in the side, inside the snow caves. And it actually, at night, it was like 20 below outside, and it was actually about 30 degrees inside there, which, 20 below to 30 degrees is a huge swing. So with some blankets and your sleeping gear, hey, I'm not gonna say that we weren't a little chilly, but we weren't freezing. Then one year we did lean-tos, and that was rough. That was like, if I had to imagine what it felt like to be at Valley Forge for a winter with like no boots on and freezing, that one was cold. So that was going about 2 days with no sleep, keeping the fire going, And we tried to do like one of those Cody Lundin style lean-tos with the plastic in the front, but it, we didn't have back then. I don't know. We're talking in the late 70s. I don't think the emergency blankets were invented then because we didn't have any. And it was cold. I ain't gonna lie. It was definitely cold. Another year we did tents, but people had some Coleman space heaters, and that wasn't bad. But that would be fun to go out there. And what was cool is they would do like tea boiling contests where, you had wood laying out there. You had to hurry up and get a fire going, and you had like a number 10 tin can with the old coat hanger wire through it, and we'd had first one to get the water to a rolling boil won. And it was just a lot of cool things. Axe throwing. Who in the Scouts would do axe throwing now? But they had like axe throwing competitions, and it was just crazy. It was a fun time. But like that, you got to make. Everybody talks about the good old days. Well, the good old days are right now. You got to make the time right now in the moment and just make the best of it. And that's what I'm hoping for all of us, that we can do that. So with that, we're coming up on an hour. If anybody has any last minute questions, comments, crazy ideas they'd like to see on the channel, post them up, because I think we're going to run to about an hour. Let's see. We still do axe throwing. Let's see. I think bloopers and having fun with your own bushcraft and filming mistakes with the crappy year had. It's going to be fun, at least in YouTube videos. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of that footage that I film, I usually dump it when I get home just to save space, because if you're into photography or if you're into video, and especially if you're shooting photography raw, or now if you're shooting video 4K, you fill up hard drives so fast. So I've got like 4 of them right here, and they're all 2 gig, 3 gig, 5 gig, and they're just sitting with video on it. And a lot of it's rendered video that's already been put up. I try to archive every video that I posted in the event something happens to my channel. I still have a copy of it somewhere. So, but with that, when I get home, I'll usually save all my files until I do my final render. And then if I'm not using any of those files on another video that it may pertain to, then I usually just delete them just to save hard drive space, because it gets nuts. And believe me, I am OCD. Everything's cataloged. Everything has a file, B-roll, drone shots, final cuts, things like that. But I mean, the data just adds up so quick. But yeah, we keep it fun. So with that, I think we're going to call this night. I just wanted to check on y'all, make sure that you're okay, and that look for some content coming out. Just bear with me. The holidays are always a little bit crazy in the grocery industry, especially here in SoCal, where it's just super busy. So for the next week or two, it's going to be crazy town at the store. And then after that, it kind of mellows out going into Christmas and New Year. It's more of a party, liquor, and what we call finger food style type. Let's see, Carlos. Oh, you're welcome, bro. Anytime. I like keeping in touch with you guys. And since I haven't been able to post videos, I was doing really good beginning of the year, 2-3 videos a week. And I was on track. I look back and I'm like, man, I'm putting out more content this year than any other year that I've been on YouTube. And when COVID hit it didn't really slow me down at first, but when the fires hit and they started shutting down the woods, then it was like, oh man. So then I lost places to go shoot my bow and do air guns and do bushcraft stuff. And the list goes on and on. But I've talked with a few folks here in town. They've got some lands. So we may be working out something where we have a permission to go on their property just to shoot videos and just a place where we're not going to be hassled, which would be cool. So, you know, it's good. It's a new day. It's a new year coming up. We got a lot of great stuff. Folks need to stay positive. We're going to be putting out some great content. Yes, we still got hunting season. We're coming up. Jaime and I got to punch that tag with our trad bows to get us a deer. And if we do, you guys know, I'm going to take you on the adventures. I took you on the hunt adventures last year. We're going to do it again this year. So with that, folks, take care. I love you all. Be safe out there. Be good to one another. And we'll talk soon. Bye.